Sunday team. Ready for your Sunday inspirational video? I'll try and be inspirational. Well, I'll try and be inspirational about nutrition this week. That's what our topic or my focus is, what I want to talk to you about today. But I actually want to talk to you about nutrition in a slightly different way. So normally when we talk about food and any substance that we put into our body, we tend to think about the what. Okay, so what do I need to eat? What macros am I eating? What percentage of whatever it is that I'm eating? So we're very hung up on the what. And I want you to think less about the what, okay? Because we do place a lot of emphasis normally on what, and I want you to think about three other things or three other factors when you're thinking about nutrition this week, and that is the where, the how, and the with whom. So they're the other three things. Those three things actually have a larger impact on your nutrition than the actual what of the food, okay? So it's what I call your eating environment, or the things around you that will impact your behavior when it comes to food. So let's start with the where. Now, the where is literally your eating environment. So where are you when you're eating your food? Are you sitting at a table? Do you have cutlery and knife and fork? Or are you eating food while driving? Are you sitting in a lunchroom at work? Or are you sitting in front of a computer screen or your smartphone or television? So you where. So the reason that where has a big impact is because the more noisy your environment in terms of stuff going on, the less likely you're going to have awareness around how you're feeling when you're eating. So when you eat in a very distracted environment, you tend to overeat because your belly doesn't really catch up. Well, your brain doesn't catch up to the signal that your belly is sending to say that you're full, okay? So when you're in an environment that is conducive to that signal, you're more likely to stop eating when you're satisfied. If you're a very noisy environment, you're probably going to keep eating until you feel overfull, okay? Or you just won't have any awareness of how you're feeling at all when it comes to your food. So the where, all right? So think about where you're eating. Also think about how you're eating, and by that we could term that in terms of your pacing. So how quickly are you eating? Are you inhaling it like a vacuum cleaner, which a lot of us do, particularly if we're distracted by other things? Or are you eating your mouthful, chewing it 10 times, swallowing it, knife and fork down in between your mouthfuls, engaging with the people across from you, having another mouthful? So very measured approach to eating. So when we eat very quickly, again, we tend to overconsume. So that signal between the belly and the brain isn't really going to happen as optimally as it could if we were slowing down our food digestion. The other point around that is it allows your belly to have less stress or less load on it while you're eating. Because if you think about eating a lot of food very quickly, a lot of that undigested food is just going to slump right into your belly, okay? A lot of your blood flow from around your limbs is going to get shunted into your torso, and that's often why we feel a little bit tired after eating a lot of food. We just want to go and lie down. That's because all the blood has drained from our extremities, including our brain, straight into your belly to do a lot of work. So when you slow down the pace of your eating, it allows your belly to have less stress or less load on it. It's able to digest your food a little bit more easily. Okay, so be kind to your belly. And the final thing I want you to think about is the with whom. So who are you eating with? Are you eating by yourself in an environment that's very quiet, or are you eating in a packed food court where there's a lot of other people around? Are you eating across from someone who is a very hearty eater? So do they eat very quickly, and do they eat poor food? So maybe they're eating hot chips and gravy very quickly. As humans, we like to mimic behaviour. So if we're eating across from someone who is a very hearty eater that is eating a lot of food very quickly, and not ideal food choices, we're more likely to replicate that behaviour. Okay, so just think about the people that you are eating with. If you're eating across from someone who's eating a nice chicken salad and is eating it very slowly and mindfully, you're going to replicate that behaviour. So think about that. Think about who you're spending your time with. I'm not saying you need to ditch the people that you spend your time with. I'm just saying be aware of it, because when you become aware of something like that, you can then actually have the choice to do something about that, okay? So they're the three things I want you to think about for this week when it comes to your food. The where you're eating, so your literal environment of your eating, also the how you're eating, so the speed and the pace of your eating consumption, and then also the with whom, so who you're eating with. Okay, those are the 3 things I want you to think about this week. And I hope that your Sunday planning and prepping is going well, and I hope that you learnt something from last week's video, and we'll talk about something else next week. Okay, have a wonderful week.